So here's something you may not have thought about. How did Joe Biden's unwavering financial and military support of Ukraine from day one of the Russian attack lead to a dramatic loss of advantage for the Iranians in the war in the Middle East today? Joe Biden allowed Ukraine the time they needed to push the Russians back and to develop their own weapons industry. The result is a very different kind of defense contracting than we're used to here in the U.S. For decades, U.S. defense contractors have sat around at 2 martini lunches with Pentagon procurement officers talking about multi-billion-dollar weapons systems. Ukrainian defense contractors can afford no such luxuries. They need cheap, effective weapon systems. They need them now, and they need to be able to produce them at scale. They are developing these on the battlefield in a context in which they are in an existential fight for the survival of their country day by day. In the first 4 days of the war, the Americans fired over 90 Patriot missiles in an attempt to defend against Iranian ballistic missiles, but also Shahed drones. You can see where this goes. We break the U.S. bank very quickly in an attempt to use $4 million weapons against $50,000 ones. And it looked like this was going to be the math from here on out. Not only that, the 900 or so missiles that were used in the first 4 days of the war against Iran represent 18 months of Lockheed Martin's production capacity. Then the Ukrainians show up. The Ukrainians are bringing to the Middle East a weapon called the Sting Interceptor. And what's their cost per unit? The Sting Interceptor costs $2,100. Now it's the Iranians who have a price point problem. And finally, the Iranians say they can build 10,000 Shahed drones a month. Well, the Ukrainians can build 1,000 Sting Interceptors a day. Zelensky went before leaders in the Middle East, and he told them quite simply, you can have Patriots and THAAD missiles, but if you don't have an effective solution against swarms of Shahed drones, your air defense is not complete. What he told them was, he needs Patriot missiles to defend against Russian ballistic missiles, and he's happy to supply massive amounts of Sting Interceptors in exchange for them. Meanwhile, when offered help by the Ukrainians a few months back, Donald Trump had this insightful observation to make. No, they're not helping. We don't need their help. We know more about drones than anybody else. And then he followed up with this. The last person we need help from is Zelensky. Why would Trump say this? Donald Trump works for Vladimir Putin, which explains a lot. This video is based in part on an article by Shanaka Anslam Pereira. He posted it on X, and you can also find him on Substack. Also, apparently, I had smoothie on my nose through about half of this video.